What's up, you guys? My name's Jeremiah Penguin. I'm part of Dreamgirls Financial, one of the senior marketing directors in the team. And my topic with you guys today is the perfect business platform. Now, perfect compared to what, right? So we're looking into our business platform and a traditional business. So I'm going to start with what are the challenges of a traditional business, right? So the only, when it comes to business, right? The only business that stays is the business that pays, right? Let me repeat that with you guys. The only business that stays is the business that pays. So let's also look at the statistics of business failures of new businesses. So 627,000 new business open each year, and 595 thousands of those business closes also the same year. So think about it, 95% of the business, they shut down, but the 5% that actually remains open, they actually have a chance of also permanently closing. So those are the challenges of the traditional business. And why is that the case, right? Why is that the case? So the challenge with traditional business, it requires a lot of capital, right? So here's sort of a pathway for you to do when you start a traditional business. First and foremost, you have to figure out what kind of business you want to start, right? When people start business, they primarily want two things. They wanted more money and they want more time, right? So if you want to start a business, a profitable business, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to do what you call market research, right? You're going to do some, what kind of industry is going to be profitable, where, what area, what kind of market share are you going to look into, what kind of customers and all of that stuff. So that's the first thing, and that's going to cost you money. So whether that would be asking different business owners how they're doing revenue wise, or whether you go into some sort of CFO and doing some research and say, hey, what are the, how is this specific industry doing? How is this specific business doing? Then the second thing that you're going to do is you're going to decide what kind of entity their business is going to be. So whether that would be an LLC, right, a limited liability corporation, a regular corporation, an S corporation, a limited liability partnership. And part of that is you're going to speak with, a tax accountant, you're going to talk to a CPA, you're going to talk to a lawyer and figure out all of these things. So just off the bat, you're a few $1,000s out, right? So now after you decide the entity, now you're going to have to decide what kind of taxation you wanted to adapt. So many LLCs, right? So LLCs are comprised of single member LLC, there's multi-member LLCs, there's multi-member partnerships, right? Now there's limited liability partnerships, there's limited liability corporations, then there's regular corporation, right? So who are you gonna speak with? You gotta go ahead and speak to an accountant, speak to a CPA, and you gotta figure out what kind of entity is the best way for you. Now you've spent money on three of those, then the next thing you're gonna spend your money on is what you call marketing, right? Marketing and advertising. How are you gonna get the name of your business out there? How are you going to get the services of your business out there? And the challenges with new businesses is they don't really have the credibility to deliver a service, right? So now you're going to go with what you call Yelp, Google Ads, and different marketing services where you're going to spend money. You're going to spend thousands of dollars in figuring out how you're going to get your name out there, and hopefully you can deliver to your target clients, or what you call ideal client profile. Now, after you do that, you got to figure out your client and your customer acquisition process. So whether that would be your point of sale, right? How is your product going to go from point A to point B, where your product's going to go from your business and eventually deliver it to your client, right? What is the proper way for you to collect the money from your client? Figure out the sales tax, the income tax, right? And what if that you're not only doing business locally, right? You're doing business throughout the state and you're selling different products, right? How are you going to facilitate the point of sale process and the customer acquisition process from point A to point B? Then the next thing you're going to figure out is, once you hire a team, you got to figure out the payroll process, right? And if you have a what you call a physical store, you got to figure out what kind of location and which location that's going to be. And then you're going to be paying rent, right? So you're going to have to sign a lease agreement that, you're not sure whether your business is going to stay in business, but guess what? You have 6 to 12 months, you're on the hook for that liability, and then eventually you're going to make money. So now you guys can, based on that different points that I mentioned to you guys, these are the challenges, right, that many businesses have to face with. And at the end of the day, it takes them many, many years to become profitable in their business, right? So let's take a look at a couple of options, right? So in order for you not to figure out that process, you can do what you call franchising, right? Franchising or owner-operator businesses. So let's take a look at McDonald's, right? McDonald's as a business, they've simplified the process. You don't need to figure everything out. They're not going to disqualify you because you don't have a business experience or you don't know how to flip burgers. They're gonna disqualify you based on your financial status, right? So if you wanted to have a business right away and immediately, franchising is a good option for you. So if you take a look at McDonald's, right, where your startup cost could be around 1 million to 2.5 million, right? And then based on your sales, you're gonna have to pay what you call royalties or monthly service fee, where 4% of your gross sales goes to the McDonald's Corporation, right? And the annual revenue for every McDonald's right now is 2.8 million. So now think about the 2.8 million, and then you're paying 4% monthly service fee to McDonald's Corporation as your royalties. Now you have to pay a location, right? Now you have to pay your people, your manager, your staff, your inventory, the products that you actually have to sell. Your net profit or your take home as the owner of this McDonald's is actually just $150,000 a year. So think about that for a second. So if you make $150,000 and it costs you $2.5 million to start up that business, 150,000, how long is it going to take you to recuperate that $2.5 million? When are you going to be profitable in that business? Over 10 years, right? But like I said, McDonald's has simplified the process. You don't need to figure everything out. So all you got to do is put in your money and you're collecting $150,000 a year. Now, it may vary for different locations. Like I said, this is an average earning. So the earning could be way more than that, could be less than that, but this is the average earning. But still, it will take you nearly 10 to 15 years to be profitable and make the money back that you initially invested in, right? So that's McDonald's. What about Burger King, right? Burger King, the startup cost is around 1.9 million to 3.5 million. The royal fee is 4.5% of your gross sales. And then on top of the royalty, you have to pay them advertising fee, right? Because you see all these commercials, they don't go unpaid, right? So you, as the franchise owner, right, you're gonna pay the Burger King, the name itself. So what happens then, their annual revenue is actually only 1.4 million. So think about that. McDonald's was only charging a 4% of monthly service fee. Burger King is actually charging you 4.5%, and on top of that, they have advertising fees. So your annual and your annual revenue is even less, right? So the owner only really takes home an average of $85,000 a year. So if you had to put up $2 million to $3 million of your own money, and you're only pulling in average of $85,000 a year. Now, average, like I said, could be less, could be more, depending on the location of your business, right? It will take you still over 10 years to become profitable, right? So it kind of brings you back to the to the example, right? To the example that I brought up, that even if you're a small business, right, or even with a big name, that's your franchising, there are different sets of challenges in starting a traditional business, where initially you wanted to be in business because you wanted more time and you wanted more money. And with those options on hand, you're not getting more time and more money, right? And in essence, it feels like when you start a franchise, right, you're actually losing money in the beginning, where it takes you 10 to 15 years to recuperate the cost of your investment. Now, the power of our business, right, Dream Getters Financial, World Financial Group, right, you started in business here with us. You started with $125 AMA. Now, this is actually a double-edged sword because it didn't cost you that much to get in, so it's also easier for you to get out. Now, think about it for a second, right? So if you start a McDonald's business, you're in about $1 million to $2 million a year. You think if you decide to leave that business, it would be easy for you to get out and take your $2 million? No, it's really not that easy, right? So for us, because it's so easy to get in, right, our turnover rate is actually super high because it doesn't cost that much to get started with us, right? So you start with us, $125. You fill out what we call a W-9, right when you fill out a paperwork, which basically qualifies you to become a sole proprietor or a disregarded entity for the IRS, tax purposes, right? So you immediately become a business owner here with us as soon as you paid your $125 startup cost. So you don't have to decide your entity yet. That's a conversation that we're going to have later once you're making 6 figures or 7-figure income here with us, right? And then the next thing you got to do is you just get licensed, right? You get one of our state licenses, right? And immediately, right, the 30 to 60 days, we have a system in place where you're going to be profitable immediately, right? And this is a business that's something that you can build. This is a business that you can pass on to your family. And guess what? Our business is now online. So you're not only doing, as we're shooting this, I'm shooting this in Arizona. My home state is California. Right? So think about it. If you're somewhere in California, you could be doing appointments through Zoom because our business is now virtual. So imagine that your territory is not just where you're at. You can also do business across North America, right? And I don't know if you've Googled this. Now that you're in the financial industry, right? You can go ahead and Google what industry has created the most millionaires, and you're gonna see there that it's the financial services. So that's the power of our business, right? And I just want to say that you're at the right place at the right time, right? Like I said, we have a system in place that figures everything out for you. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword. You're either gonna take this for granted or you're going to take advantage of this. So you're at the right place at the right time. Our customer and client acquisition, just like I mentioned, we have 10,000 baby boomers that are reaching retiring age every single day. We have underfunded Social Security and Medicare, right? I don't know if you know, but we have a lot of millennials out there that are, living their best life and not saving any money. Eventually, they're going to need our help, right? And, when it comes to business, like I said in the beginning, the business that stays is the business that pays. You don't have to decide what kind of customers you have here. Everybody needs our services, whether you're someone that's a newborn, right? You were just born, someone that's getting ready to go to college, you just finished college, you're 30, 40 years old, right? Have nothing saved for retirement, or you're someone that's getting ready to transition into retirement. With everything that I just mentioned I just want you to know the power of our business opportunity and the platform that you're in. And we hope that you take advantage and you become profitable and you become 6-figure and 7-figure earners here with us. And we're excited what your journey is going to be here with us. It's going to be truly a rewarding journey for you, and we're excited to see you grow here with us. Once again, my name is Jeremiah. I'm one of the senior marketing directors, and I'm looking forward to meeting you.